right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the final match of the evening, of the day, whatever you want to call it, wherever you're at. We've got P245 versus 166 exclamation point. We've also got Gekko. He's going to be joining us here in about 5 or 6 minutes as well. We're going to do a little bit of a dual cast situation, very similar to what you saw whenever we were teaming up for the official knockout rounds, which are coming up next week, guys. They're coming up very quickly. We're going to go ahead and team up and have ourselves a good old-fashioned double team match, that double stuff. And sure enough, it's going to be fun. And let me bust open this right here and open up the Osiris League. He's going to be firing his stream up here in about 2 or 3 minutes, roughly. And I've got mine up. We're going to do a quick intro here. Let's look at the chat real quick. What time is it in the USA? It's almost 3 p.m. It's almost 3 p.m. Asuka. Yeah, so we're going to be doing, let's see, we're going to be doing a match here. Let's go to the watch screen real quick. Yep, sure enough, this guy right here. P245 versus 166. Exclamation point. It's going to be a good one, hopefully. I've heard rumblings that some folks might not show up because both of these teams have already officially made it into the knockout rounds, the next rounds. So we'll see what happens. If this ends up being a blowout and somebody doesn't show up, we'll just turn it into a good old co-cast and we'll just have some conversations back and forth and all that good stuff. This was such a good match, the 1008 versus NCB. That was a good one earlier today. It was on the last stream I did. And then the K9T Rising Phoenix was also a really good one today. Looks like 89PX match was pretty good, but we didn't end up showing that on this stream. MFLD we started with, but that ended up being a little bit of a throw. We saw DSP and 96RZ for a little bit, but DSP pulled it out in the very end in convincing fashion. So, let's see. I sound sad, Drago. I'm good, man. I am so good. It's just a lot going on. And yeah, this is the third stream of the day, so your boy can get tired. I promise. I'm from London, nearly 8 p.m. here. Miles, thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate it. Hopefully you had a tasty dinner. Gummy is in my alliance. I miss him so much. Yeah, Gummy's good people. All right, so I think we got roughly, about 7 minutes or so. Let's do a little peeking around here. What's coming up on the calendar? Let's see. Got Mighty Army. Okay, so nothing crazy. I've heard More Than Gems is coming up soon, guys. I've heard the rumor. I've heard the word that More Than Gems is coming up. See how this goes. I'm going to crank the desktop audio up a little bit so that you can hear Gekko as well when he jumps in. It should be here shortly. Tired? No, no way. No, we don't need tired. We don't need tired here. Tired, there's no rest for the weary. I was just saying that in the chat earlier. My wife decided that now was the time to bust out the leaf blower, by the way. So I had to shoot her over to the backyard, so hopefully she stays there for about an hour. But she was like, okay, not only am I going to bust the leaf blower out, but it's going to be right outside your window. Oh, and I opened all the windows in the house. So just all that good stuff. I'm like, ugh. Okay, now's the time, huh? I've been on all your streams today. Yes, thank you for the streams. Kept me doing something while I'm on lockdown. Yeah, we're all on lockdown, right? We're all on the containment COVID 2020. Hey, bro, wondering, were you forget Leonidas in your 5 infantry marches and why no Guan Leo or Leo Guan? I don't have a properly spec'd out Leo yet, so that's one. But two, I like Leo more for Garrison, personally. He does a really good job in the Garrison, especially against Attila Takeda. And on top of all that, you can use Leo. So Leo Caesar works really well. Or if you decide to go Guan Leo or Leo Guan, then you can take Alex or take Mehmed out of there and plug him in with somebody else. You can shuffle it all around. I just showed you what I use as my top 5 marches. And again, that 5th march is interchangeable. I just like what it does for a 4 infantry march in front of it. Shahe, cheers. Definitely. So, looks like we're right about ready to get started. Ooh, we got a training buff. Oh, it's only got 22 minutes left. Dang. I missed it. I'm also on my iPad doing Marauders and K93 on my main account too. So we multitasking today, folks. We are multitasking with the best of them. Who's a good secondary commander while on the field with Sun Tzu? I've got a Sun Tzu specific mastery guide that gives you exactly what you need there. But you've got Scipio, you've got Eulgi, you've got YSG, you've got Kusunoki, Baybars. Any of those will work. Any nuking damage will work right behind that. And then from a tankiness perspective, Scipio, Osmond's a really good one too. Osmond's a good pairing. Richard, certainly. Careless Whisper, Constantine Martel or vice versa for Garrison. Either one works. I've seen really good reports for both against, I'm assuming what you're talking about is Attila Takeda. I think the meta right now is Constantine Martel because of the rage regeneration and the fact that he can continue to pump out the attack reduction debuff. I do like the defense tree in that situation over the support tree. However, the support tree just works better, I think, because of how fast the skills come back. So we'll see how that goes. Ikra, Richard with Sun Tzu is good. Yes, it is. Atanas, thanks. Have a nice stream. See ya. All right. Appreciate you. Yes. That's a good description of what's coming up. Yep. OV versus MFLD, JWM2 versus UCS, 89PX versus C9N, Smash Squad versus NB2, JWM versus K9T, HKL versus 1008, BBTH versus loser of this match, V163 versus winner of this match. That is the breakdown. Cool. Cool. Let's get some more of these supply boxes. We got all that good stuff. All right, let's open the match thing back up here. Got about 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Let me check in. Make sure we're good to go. All right, we are.
What's going on?
Hey, Gekko. So we got Gekko in the stream, everybody. Again, we're going to be doing a dual cast. I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. How about yourself?
Yes, sir. Another day in paradise. Chats, make sure you keep us, you guys need to keep us a little honest on the volumes. Let us know that
please.
The volumes are good for either side. I'm super excited to be casting with you back. We got to sharpen up them skills.
That's right. That's right. We got to get back into the swing of things.
Yes, sir. Well, we have an interesting match to watch potentially. These two teams qualified to playoffs already, right? So I'm interested to see what they'll bring to the table.
Yeah, I've fought both of them. I fought both of them in one AVG on my other main account, and they're both very, very strong. You've got P245 with Ronnie and Baba and a bunch of people that I used to play with from K16. And then 166, a relatively newcomer. However, when I say newcomer, they're definitely not a newcomer from an Alliance perspective, but they're a newcomer from deep runs into the Osiris League playoffs perspective. So interested to see.
Yeah, man, this is one of the three teams I think really showed up big this season. We have 166, SNO, and Rose. Two of them have not been knocked out, and this is the one wild horse that actually made it to the top 16. It's actually, I'm not gonna lie, very, very impressive stuff. On the first season, they make it to the playoffs. They also advance to the advanced stages of the playoffs. It shows that they put a lot of effort into their strategy and game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, looking at the schedule, the knockout round is starting to shape up nicely, and I think we had a quick breakdown in our, and I'll make you a little bit louder. I'm getting a little 5% louder description for you, so I went and did that. We're starting to get the knockout rounds established on the Realm of Horus. Obviously, we have two different Osiris leagues. We've got the Realm of Horus and the Realm of Anubis. Anubis is basically any of the alliances that are in kingdoms, I think. What is it, 350 and later? Is that right?
I think so. 350, 360, something like that.
Yeah, so that's the breaking point there, the vision point. And, we had Season 1, which had a lot of the original kingdoms that you see here in Realm of Horus and the original alliances. You see a lot of familiar faces, but like you said, there's some newcomers. You've got, V163, you've got 166, you've got even 89PX, who's an established one, they didn't go that deep this last season. Same thing with BBTH. I think HKL got knocked out fairly early as well last season. UCS certainly did as well. They've stepped their game up. So a lot of good narratives, a lot of good storylines behind the Realm of Horus alliances that are going into the knockout rounds. I'm interested to see how these play out.
I think that one of the cool things that happened with this Realm of Horus and Realm of Anubis is that a lot of these names migrated to younger kingdoms and went to the Realm of Anubis. Just a few off the top of my head really quickly. You NCB, you had all the NBs who became N1A and whatnot, went to 331. You have a Riot in the other realm. And so it's fun because these very competitive alliances went to a younger kingdom and left space for some of these alliances that were a bit more overshadowed to have the opportunity to make it to the playoffs. I'm not saying that 166, SNO, or Rose did not earn their spot. They did for sure. But the fact that a few of the established alliances moved to a younger kingdom really allowed the older kingdoms to flourish a little bit more. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and as we were able to jump right in here, the match just opened up for us to kind of take a peek and get in some of the folks that we're going to be seeing for the next little bit. Let me hide I hate that the text auto-enables so that you just see strolling everywhere.
The first thing I do.
Yep. I always forget until I start seeing it. So a lot of familiar faces on the P245 side here. We've got Javi. We've got Baba. Don't see Ronnie. Where's Ronnie at?
For the record, while you find Ronnie, big shout out to Baba. Happy 42nd birthday, my man. Yes. Very, very exciting that to see what they did for him in 245. That was actually very cool.
Yep.
I hadn't seen something like that before in Rise of Kingdoms.
Yeah, I saw that too. They were shouting it out, and Baba actually popped on my stream there for a little bit. I think it was last stream or the one before. I can't remember, but I forgot to tell him happy birthday on the stream, but I did in Facebook as well. So yeah, happy birthday to Baba for sure, and that was pretty cool what they did. Yeah, I saw that too.
It really is. It shows the coordination of that team, not only on the Osiris field, which is a lot to say for
coordinate
what they did.
The heart.
You guys haven't seen that. Coordinating that heart. Move left. No, right there. Perfect. There it is. So on the 166 side, we don't really have familiar faces per se. Most of these folks are not like these Baba, Javi, Ronnie types of names, but these are folks who are establishing their names in here. The leader, Liam, and Angel up on the front with them. A few of these folks are like Zessie, 130 million power player, showing up big time and pulling their team together. It's a very cool, neat thing to see new faces. That's I love this about this season.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the fun part of everything here. And, I mean, I recognize these guys because, again, I played against them a little bit last week. And, yeah, these guys curb stomped us. I'm not going to lie. There was a little bit of a curb stomp situation going on. So these guys are solid. I definitely see, if everybody's playing on the up and up, I definitely see both of these alliances putting on a good show for us, and we see some people pouring out already as the match begins. Of course, you all know obelisks are the main priority right now. Do they use, what I've been checking for lately is, do they use the outposts and or the caravans to help refresh their hasty departure to get those T1 cav marches to the outposts quicker? That's, to me, kind of the next level play that you should be seeing in Season 2 of Osiris League, and I've seen some alliances do it. Some alliances are not. I don't know if they don't know about it or not, but that does get you there just that little bit quicker. And again, we saw, like, especially the last match we saw on the last stream that was done, winning by provisioning by a couple thousand points because just that little bit extra, right?
Yeah, definitely. Every second matters. One of the things I've been saying consistently in cast is your biggest enemy and your biggest friend at the same time. The number one thing in this is time. Time is either your best friend or your worst enemy. You have to have it on your favor consistently, and by doing what you mentioned, hasty departure, you can very, very easily get there much faster. But the interesting thing is, Dragothien, only one rally early on an obelisk. We are used to seeing 8 rallies usually. That's usually the play to go to. Folks sending cavalries to both their infantry, to their obelisks, as well as to the opposition's obelisks to move troops up on the field. I'm seeing a lot of movement towards the center. Uh-oh. Interesting. So far, no building has been taken yet by either side. 27 against 28.
Oh, man. This isn't going to be a real match. Dang it.
You think?
No. There's no... They're just going to... I bet you what they said was everybody just go to the middle and just start destroying each other.
Duke it out.
Yeah.
That could be a thing. I think they're going all to the center and just duking it out.
I mean...
They're like, hey,
man,
might as well.
Come on.
What can we say? Each team gets to choose what they do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
For the better or worse.
They're sending rallies to the opposing outposts as well to get there a little bit quicker. Yeah, you see everybody going to the middle on both sides. Yikes. Yikes.
So, chat, it's time for us to reveal the cards to you guys, okay? Dragothien and I were talking right before the match, and I'm like, listen, you think these guys are going to fight? I don't know. You think these guys are going to fight? I don't know. How about we dual cast this and at least we have each other to talk
Yeah, exactly.
Get each other's chat to get to know each other a bit
goodness.
more and get questions, answers. I think that it's really cool for us to answer together some of the community's questions because there are things that you are an expert on that I feel very uncomfortable with. And there are things that I think that I see differently than you do. So if we have both opinions and two minds giving an answer, it could be probably something that adds value to the community rather than watching us slaughter in the middle in the Temple of Osiris.
Yeah, I agree. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to park the camera on the Temple of Osiris, and then I'm going to pop open your stream as well so I can see your questions and all that good stuff. Let me open. And I think it's also kind of funny. I'm looking at Chisco's stream. It says Ronnie versus 166. I don't see Ronnie anywhere. And people in my chat are saying he hasn't posted videos for 4 days.
Here's the thing, right?
I didn't notice that. I didn't know that.
And truthfully, I really hope he's doing okay. The situation out there or where he's from is not very pretty. And I hope that we're not talking about anything health related. Maybe just, needs a little bit of a break. Hopefully we'll hear from him sooner rather than later. We know that he's not one to miss these kinds of events, right? He's not that kind of person, but perhaps he's not necessarily in agreement with what's going on in here, and that's his decision not to be here. I don't know. It's open for speculation. I just hope it's a positive thing why he's not here rather than a negative reason. That's all.
Yeah, me too. I mean, shoot. We still talk, so if something were to have happened, I feel like he would have messaged me. I don't know.
I have no idea. Well, the slaughter begins.
Yeah, I see it. I can hear the clashing in the background.
So far, all we can say is a lot of open field presence first.
I mean, everybody's going to get their 10K, yeah? Everybody's going to get their 10K for honor, yeah?
I'm curious what happens if this ends up a 0-0, I've never seen that happen before.
Well, if they tie, is tying a thing? I guess, Has there ever been a tie?
No, so theoretically, they could, if nobody does a very not cool move in the sense of getting a little bit of points, then there won't be a tie. But if these guys keep doing this all match long, this will be the first ever tie. And I don't think Rise of Kingdoms ever had to deal with this. What happens in a tie?
I don't know. I mean, I think it just ends 0. So if you think about it, right? Remember the first week of Osiris League playoffs last season?
Yeah.
Everything was 0-0.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give you a point.
Yes, but they also didn't play.
Yeah, but they started. It started, didn't it? If I remember, it started for like 2 seconds and everything crashed, or it lagged so bad that
Yeah, but that's the match crashing, right? So I'm assuming if the match doesn't crash, if the match ends, who wins, who loses? Oh, this is gonna be fun. Watch this crash the game. I'm gonna laugh at this crash.
I don't know, man. I don't know how this was gonna work.
Someone call Lilith.
Oh, that's the other thing. So good point in chat. What happens to the bets if they tie this game?
Oh, lordy.
That's a very good question by Dr. Foreplay.
Interesting. Someone call Lilith. This is... Watch the game legit crash.
Well, it
like
wasn't a
6,
direct
7.
throw from 166, but might as well. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look. So let me jump back into the game here. It's just obviously fighting. I'm curious to see it. So obviously they've worked this out, right? That P245 and 166 got together and they're like, look, we don't need to beat each other into the ground. Let's just have some fun and go beat each other in the middle.
Yep.
And I wonder if one stray player is gonna grab.
That's what I'm saying.
Like an
That's what I'm saying.
outpost,
One stray player is
or
all it takes.
yeah.
Only one stray player is all it takes. Or a mistake. Oh, it's just moving troops. I didn't mean to. Which is really weird.
So a lot of people saying they're glad they didn't bet on this game. I put a little bit of money on 166. One, because I thought that they genuinely could win, and two, because the spread was really good. And this is going to be interesting. I wonder if maybe 245 also bet on 166 and is going to ensure a nice coin spread coming their way as well.
I don't think 245 can bet on their own. You can't bet on your own matches.
That's
so
true.
245 cannot bet.
Can't bet on those. Yeah, can't bet on those accounts.
Theoretically, the alts.
Yeah, the alts you could do it.
Sure.
Get your alts some good stuff. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's happening right now? It's fun to watch,
this is
but
all going on. It's funny. It's fun to watch, kind of see the ants all over the place. But chat, this is your time to ask questions. This is your time to find something that you want to understand about Ark of Osiris or about Osiris League that intrigues you that you don't know, whether it's strategy, commander pairings, predictions, anything that you guys want us to talk about. I mean, you can also just say, whatever, and leave the chat, but we're already all here together. So we can make a good thing out of this and ask us questions.
Another good point in the match, or in the chat here, so provisioning. Accidental provisioning might actually win this match. You're going to see some points from people that used the caravans to move around or something like that. Because even if you die after going into a caravan, you do still get those points as long as you're not killed inside the caravan.
Correct. Someone in chat says Ronnie trolled you guys. Well, if he did, then that's it. It definitely worked.
Yeah.
But it just gave me and Dragothien an opportunity to get on a cast together. So
that's right.
Joke's on him. If
that's it. That's it. So again, any questions? Let's see. Best rally combo still Attila Takeda? Yeah, I'd say so. Although it's getting marginally better at this point, considering some of the newer stuff that's out. I know Gekko, you've got Ramses that you just maxed out. What are you thinking?
I think that Attila Takeda are still the top dog, and I don't think that Lilith actually understand why that is. The combination of Attila Takeda connecting with a building, with a structure, is just stupendous. It goes from insane buffs and debuffs to a great amount of damage to an impossibility of swarming. And it's not that there is going to be anything that's going to come in and cause a balance. That pair of commanders is broken, period. Can you get Ramses with or Artemisia or some sort of combinations along the way to counter it? Sure, we've been seeing Charles Martel and Constantine doing that quite a bit. But those guys are still doing massive damage. And honestly, I know you're going to hate me saying this, but those commanders need a much bigger nerf than they did.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they did get nerfed, and while they were nerfed, it's still one of the best in the game, especially if you're not fighting top-tier players. Like, if you're fighting players that just don't have the juice, like just don't have the troops and the T5 and the research and everything, that combo is still mega devastating. I mean, it just still blows anything else out of the water currently in the game. I will say, you got Edward Tamiris that's out, that's still really good. You still got Saladin Takeda, which is really good. I'm interested to see how this Ramses Artemisia or Ramses Tamiris or Ramses Freddy works out. See how good those are. I haven't played around with either really, other than just unlocking the first skill on Ramses. I haven't won or gotten unlocked Artemisia with any of these MGEs because I just moved to K93 and they were in the middle of their second one. So I look to unlock her and maybe play around with her a little bit, but there's nothing like Attila Takeda right now out on the map. It's just too easy to just say, yeah, send Attila Takeda and go for it.
So a lot of folks are asking, why is this happening?
Yeah.
That question, guys, as much as you might think that we have an answer for it, we really don't. Each team and each group and each alliance and each kingdom make their decisions, and why they do what they do and how they do what they do is beyond us. Those of us, we are here casting, chilling, and we came in here to have a good time with the community, regardless of what's going to happen here. And you want to know what's happening? Ask them. Don't ask us. We really don't have a way to.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you know what's funny though? I saw T1 marches coming out of the front of the base. Where were the T1 marches going? Was that like a fake or?
It had to have been a fake. A rally on an obelisk early on. That's what we saw, right?
Yeah. Outpost.
Where was that going?
To get to the middle faster.
Maybe that's the case. Some folks say they're trying to avoid JWM. I don't think. I mean, if we go take a quick peek at the rewards, we can go do that in a second. I mean, so you're gonna get one more stage in for what? 2 more sculptures? What's the play?
Man, I mean, I talked about this a little bit on the last stream whenever I was streaming MFLD, the MFLD match. I mean, at some point you got to fight them. I mean, are you just hoping somebody else beats somebody that you don't think you can beat, and then maybe you'll beat that alliance? That doesn't make sense to me, because if somebody else is going to beat the alliance that you're scared of, then how are you not scared of that other alliance that just beat them? So, me personally, just fight. Just have fun and fight. That's what this match is for. These guys are having fun and fighting. So, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, this is cool. But for everybody else that's here looking to be entertained by this, and then just as importantly, because this is a thing in the game, bets, man. There's money on the line. You mess with people's money, you start messing with people's emotion.
I tend to agree with that, but I do disagree with what you said about this being a cool thing. And I'm not. Oh, someone's picking up the arc. Leo.
Oh, they're only doing arcs. Maybe that's the play.
That'd be pretty funny if they're only doing arcs.
Maybe that's the play.
But how did they return the arc? Where did they take it? And
that's
how the
very
heck
true.
did this guy
and he just dropped it.
How did he drop it and not take it? I'm so confused.
Huh.
How did that just happen? Okay. See, I think that one of the things that, if they're trying to avoid the next group, right? The one thing that I need to mention is that, remember, the top 4 get into Osiris Invitational, which is a 4v4 situation versus the Anubis realm. Mm-hmm. So theoretically, folks are trying to make their way as far up as they can to potentially make it to the Osiris Invitational. I guess that's a thing, but I'm not entirely sure whether or not this facilitates this or not. If the match remains tied, things remain as they are. And so I think that using this time to practice your strategy, play the game, not for our sakes of the entertainment, right? But for your own hour. You're spending an hour here, right? So it's fun, it's laugh and all that good stuff. But, you have an hour's worth of opportunity to practice, to get better, to test things, to attempt new combinations, to just experiment.
So Leo drops the arc after getting swarmed by Venny, and he went to the other side, to P245's side, and now Venny's picking it up. Let's see what.
Where is Venny gonna go?
I know. I'm waiting for the backstab. I'm waiting for the gotcha. Gotcha moment.
Well, so far it looks like Venny is like, I'm gonna just stay here. Venny is running away with it.
And is he going to capture it to the desert altar there to the right?
All I gotta say is, the second he goes into that caravan provisioning thing, he better not go home.
Yeah, he just drops. Yeah.
Well, this is really something else. This is really, really something else.
It is.
At least, I guess both teams are doing this. I was like, is this a thing? Is this a thing? Yup, it definitely is.
Death the Sausage says, it's not even real money, though. It's literally coins you get by doing daily, weekly stuff. So not even a reason to be angry and hate them. I'm not angry, and I certainly don't hate them. I'm trying to voice what I think everybody who bet on this match probably is thinking is, well, how do you expect us to bet on a match whenever this kind of thing is okay to happen? It's a qualifier round match, so technically, again, there's no do or die situation here. It's not a knockout round match, so this can happen in the current way the game is structured. And again, if you're going to do betting, do betting. Make it to where there's not a way for this type of thing to happen. Or maybe there's a toggle where the alliances can say, hey, we're not going hard against each other. Don't allow people to bet on our match or something like that. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking stuff up. But that's why. I know that it's not real money, and I'm not angry. I don't hate them.
I don't think it's a matter of being angry. Right?
Yeah.
It's a matter of you're getting into the spirit of things. The spirit of things is when you're gambling you're gambling your own money. If you're gonna be that guy who's like, oh, this is imaginary chips, I can just go all in every hand, and it's no fun. You really wanna you don't take this as, I lost half of my coins. I was like 5,600 coins went down the drain, and I'm smiling. I don't care, but I took it to a sense of, hey, if I'm just betting, I am. Money. Where's my money?
Yep.
So thank you, Ghost Rider. Appreciate you, man.
Hey Drago, is Ramses good at 5-1-1-1 with YSG as second, or only when expertise? That's a question for Gekko.
5 what? Sorry, you got cut off there.
5-1-1-1.
The good spot for Ramses is really a 5-5, if not 5-5-5. We can go after the match out a little bit and see the skills. And you know what? Maybe on a second device, I'll take a peek at the skills. He's not a good 5-1-1-1 commander, primarily because the ones who are good 5-1-1-1s are the ones whose main thing is the first skill. And for Ramses, that's not necessarily it. That's just the damage one. The healing comes on the third skill. The debuffs come on the second skill.
All the recent commanders are like that. Until it's Kata, Guan Leo, Ramses Artemisia. They've all got good first skills, don't get me wrong, but then really they come into being the next generation of commander with their second, third, and fourth skills, especially when they stack up together. All the attack and defense stats that they bring is what makes them so good on the field.
Yep. The difference, for example, comparing to a Richard, why a Richard 5-1-1-1 is okay is because Richard's main thing is the tankiness and healing aspect of it. And while his fourth skill does enhance the healing even further, the main chunk of the healing comes from that first skill. The main reason he's used is that first skill.
Yeah, absolutely. And another question, it's a very mixed troop type one. When I use Ethelfled Joan in open field, I use 65% infantry, 25% archers, and 20% cav. What's your advice? So, I mean, with them being both mixed troop commanders, you can use whatever ratio you want. If you want some more tankiness, you can go full infantry. If you want some more speed, you can go 98% cav and 1% infantry and 1% archer. You can kind of split it up however you want. If you want full split, you can just do full split. What do you think, Gekko?
So the reason you do that, right, is that leadership tree that has a few of those crucial skills that require you to have 3 types of troops within a march. The thing about that is really, all it is you need one of each, right? So if you have a 99.9% of cavalry or whatever else you want, and then 0.05% of the other two, you'll still proc that tree. You don't really need to break down to like percentages. If you're doing this for that, then it doesn't matter what you do. If this is your final march and that's the troops you have left over, 2 thumbs up. That's okay.
Now, the way I've always done it is 98%, 1%, 1%. Reason being, if you get the number too low on the smaller ones and you're halfway dead on your army, a lot of times one of those might have died off completely, and then you're losing that extra damage and defense.
I definitely
So you want to have a little bit of those 2 smaller ones, but other than that, yeah, whatever ratio you want, buddy. It's a mixed troop army. I'm not sure, it's a debuff army, really.
John Wick from OV says 65, 25, and 20 isn't quite 100%.
Yeah, I was about to say the math is a little rough on that, too.
That does come out of 110.
It's 110, but
army expansion.
That's it.
There it is.
Let's see here. I'm seeing if there's any other questions. There's tons of questions pouring in here, but
so while we do that, the folks on the chat have been asking maybe we open a second screen on over, kind of, just to have the matches, the next few matches that are going to come up. Maybe talk a little bit about what those are going to be, since we already know what they're going to be, right?
Yeah, makes total sense.
We could discuss those a little bit too, since
there's 35 minutes left in the game, and they're just kind of sitting there. Yeah, why not? Let me hop out. Let me go to the thing here. Okay, so going to schedule.
1 second, loading the game. I just pulled up on the second monitor this thing. We'll leave the fight in the
Ghost
background.
Train, welcome to the stream, buddy. Welcome everybody to the stream, by the way. So yes, we're doing a dual cast right now. It looks like P245, this is an update for everybody who might be joining just recently. P245 and 166 have decided to just do an open field battle only. They haven't captured any structures whatsoever, and they've taken the Ark, but they can't take it anywhere because no structures are captured. So technically this could end up as a 0-0 tie. I don't know what that means for the game. I don't think the game's ever seen anything like that. So we're all going to find out together what that means if that happens again in the future. But right now we're starting to jump over to the schedules here, and we're going to start talking what the next steps in the playoffs look like and what the matchups look like and all that good stuff. And welcome everybody to both streams. We're doing a dual cast between Gekko and myself.
And if you guys haven't done that yet, I feel like it's my duty to tell you to drop a like on both streams and subscribe to the channels. Daily content, well, mostly daily from both of us. Rise of Kingdoms content, as well as casts, continual casts. Dragothien is grinding the casts, so am I. Make sure you guys drop some likes. Come join us in the next few streams.
That's right. And I'm getting a lot of people saying because sports is not getting played right now, this was their sports, and they're not getting what they're, I would normally say getting their money's worth, but there's no money, It's just fun.
I don't know what you're talking about. They're not getting their money, period. Yeah. Come on, man. I really want to know what happens with the rewards at the end. Who gets the sculptures? Who wins what? What happens?
That's very true. I'm very curious. I mean, I've got people I can ask on the P245 side. In fact, let me go ahead and I'm in Discord right now. Let me see. Shoot some people.
While you do that, I am writing down the bracket. I'm writing down the bracket because we can't really see both things at the same time on the screen, the groups and the brackets. So chat, give us a second to prepare and give you guys more information. We're doing our best to improvise on the spot some awesome content for you guys, because after all, you deserve it. You guys came here for some good content and some good time.
That's right.
And heck, if the match doesn't give it to you, we will.
Recruitment. All right, I'll look into it later. I've got a couple people I've shot some things out to, but I don't know if they're going to get back to me yet. So, yeah, go ahead and do your thing. I'll go ahead and start running through some of these groups here. So, let me scooch back. I want to look at knockout stage.
All right. Yeah, I wrote down all the brackets so that it's a little bit easier to understand who is who. Let me know whenever you've looked at everything and ready to go. You will give us a couple of moments, chat, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
But for now.
So it looks like we've got, for Realm of Horus, A1 and H2. So A1, H2.
MFLD versus OV.
Okay, so that's MFLD versus OV next week. Then you've got B1 versus G2.
Which is 89PX versus C9N.
Okay. Then you got C1 versus F2.
JWM against K9T.
So why is this match? People were saying that they didn't want to fight JWM. Why does this match have anything to do with that?
Don't look at me, man. I barely work here.
All right. D1 versus E2.
That's P245 against V163.
Okay. And then we've got on the other side E1 versus D2.
That is BBTH against 166.
That should be a good match. F1 versus C2.
That would be HKL against 1008.
Okay. That would be a good match too. G1 versus B2. G1.
That is Smash Squad, Chiskel Gaming against NB2.
Whoa. That's a healthy match too.
Whoa. Has Chiskel seen this yet?
Yeah, I know, right? H1 versus A2 is the last one.
UCS against JWM2.
Oh, wow. So that'll be you.
Yes, sir.
All right. And I know we do have quite a few Realm of Anubis folks. If you want to jump over to the Realm of Anubis, we can do that for them too.
Oh, heck yeah. Let's do this thing. Is their bracket the same exact? Is the same exact?
Yeah, A1, H2, B1, G2. Yeah.
All right. So the first match would be NCB against TDM.
Okay.
TDM from 46. And then you have, it would be B1 is BQQM against
G2.
G2, which is VNFN, the Vietnam Forever crew.
Yep.
C1,
C1, F2.
That's 1341 against L3S.
That should be a good one.
Yeah, that's squad against the L3 squad.
Yep.
It's the squads going at it.
That's it. D1 versus E2.
D1 would be Fate Nation from 331 against M8R. Oh boy. That's actually going to be a good match too.
I feel for M8R though. It's going to be hurtful. E1 D2.
E1 D2 would be hashtag 47. Okay, you don't call it hashtag. I know. At
#.
Or #. Fine. #, 47A against D2, which is 1V.
Okay. And then we've got...
I don't know these guys.
You said... Did I do the F1C2? Is that what you just did?
No. F1C2 would be NBA1 against Riot. Oh.
That one actually will be really good.
Ooh.
I'd watch that.
Definitely watch that.
G1 versus B2 is the next one.
G1 against B2 would be LIIG Dream League against GX96.
Don't
know what GX96 for. I don't know
either.
Honestly.
H1 versus A2 is the last one.
411K against 92KW. I will tell you right now, I feel really bad for 92.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one too.
Yeah.
All right, so we basically have everything set. The Realm of Anubis finished up their matches earlier in the 15 UTC slot, and I mean, effectively, so did Realm of Horus, even though they're playing one right now. So, right now, again, it is 0-0 at the moment. We've gone through some of these matchups. I think that ultimately, when we're breaking all this stuff down, I don't understand what they're doing. Now the Ark is inside the base. Yep. Sitting there.
And I'm looking for where the fight is happening, but it's just not. Baba's just pushing forward.
I wonder if they just pick it up, if it'll refresh the timer again.
When it refreshes the timer, it should go back to the center, right? So it'll, in a moment, just go poof, and then there will be a 60-second warning, I think, or something like that.
Oop,
yep,
there it goes.
1 minute and 15, and then it goes back to the center. Yeah, I remembered it was something about a minute. So,
yeah, but if you drop it, it refreshes the countdown timer for that to happen, is what I'm saying. Did you know that?
Oh, it refreshes the countdown?
Mm-hmm. You can still effectively do what you used to be able to do. You just got to pick it up and drop it, and pick it up and drop it.
That 10 out of Lilith at its finest. So we know they're good at fixing issues.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff all around. So I don't see where the fights are happening anymore. I think P245 has pushed 166 back to the front of their base. So
I think so too, and I'm telling you this, I'm seeing a few folks around buildings and I'm getting a bit wary as to what the plan is, because I can see someone going whoops, and I see, for example, a nice little siege march led by by a Cleopatra walking out. Is she going to go provision?
Oh boy, that'd be
Has
fun.
anyone gone provisioning?
I doubt it. Better not have. They haven't taken any of the structures. Why would you provision if you haven't even taken a structure? That'd be terrible.
Go. Just to take the W and take the 10 sculptures rather than potentially 5 or 0.
Check player points. That's a good idea. So on the, I believe this is 166 side. Liam's winning with 26,000. And I believe everybody but one player has their 10,000 points. On the blue side, 2 players don't have their 10,000 points. And they only have 27 players in, by the way.
Yes, sir. So this also causes me to believe that perhaps not everybody was in agreement on doing this. Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. I really don't
I mean, you
know.
got tons of reinforcements and 30 actives, so it's 45 total. Huh. Interesting.
One thing that Send pointed out that I think is very, very, very important, and Send, I think you're really, really right about this, is after tonight, brackets should not be revealed until the playoffs. And I think until it's time to reveal them. And I think that is the correct play. I think that having the bracket revealed early on allows for potential strategies when it comes to picking and choosing where you want to place yourself. But on the other hand, because that's a thing that's available, some people do what they'll do.
I got a guy who's playing right now for P245 that I'm trying to get him to send me the after action report that you get after Ark's over that shows the rewards and everything to see what it says. Yeah, see what it says. Whenever this is over, it's got 23 minutes left. My goodness.
Oh my god. So you know what, Drago? Let's talk a little bit about the matches that are coming up in at least the realm of Horus, since we know these folks quite well. I wrote down the matches so we can. You want to go through them kind of one by one, or you wanted me to cherry pick a few that I think would be interesting? What do you think?
Let's start with the cherry picks and then we'll work through the rest because we got some time.
All right. So I think that out of all the matches, the one that really stood out to me the most was Smash Squad against NB2. Smash Squad against NB2, this would be Chisco Gaming's alliance, and NB2 individuals who ended up on the top 4 last year. Smash Squad made it to the playoffs, I believe, but then got knocked out, I think, in the top 8 last year, if I'm not mistaken. So NB2 looking to continue their run up to the top, and Smash Squad trying to at least match what they did last season. What do you think?
Well, Smash Squad's new. Smash Squad wasn't a thing last season. Chisco was in K39 White Tigers last season, remember?
Correct.
So I know that some people from White Tigers did go to Smash Squad, and he did pull a couple other folks that were followers of his community, and they went there as well. So he's assembled quite a crack team over there. It's going to be a good match. I mean, it's going to come down to strategy and who can execute better, and that's really going to probably be the majority of the answers for most of these matchups. I mean, there's going to be your obvious studs kind of of the matchups, but then some of these new ones, like you were saying earlier, the 166s, the 89 PXs that are now in because some of the bigger ones from season 1 went to the later kingdoms. Those are the ones I'm really going to be interested to watch and see if they're going to be able to keep up with with the JWMs, the JWM2s, the Smash Squads, the MFLDs, those types of alliances of the world.
Well, for the record, JWM2 is also established for the first time competitively this season. Last season, it was only JWM, and the other 2 alliances we have that are big alliances, BNW and IWM, also played, but this was kind of like a second group that was created now. If you want to go that route, then I think that of more established names, I think that the match of all of this bracket will be MFLD against OV. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I think that MFLD has stepped up tremendously. I think they've stepped up tremendously in their gameplay. I think that they don't only take Ark of Osiris League a lot more. They do finally enjoy that competitive aspect of it, which I'm not sure whether they did or not last time around, but I can see, based on their gameplay, the amount of time and effort that they've put into assembling their team. So I think that it's going to be a great challenge to see if if they've done enough to put up against the reigning champions, the guys whose name is on the building in the middle right now.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I agree. I think, MFLD has a big name, certainly from early in the game, and they've continually built that over and over and over again. And they're mostly known right now for KVK. Like, they are a powerhouse kingdom, like a powerhouse kingdom when it comes to KVK. But the reason they're so good is because they've spread a lot of their power among the different families inside that kingdom. So, yeah, I was very surprised at how well, based off of how they performed season one, how well they came out the gates this season. Having fought them previously in arcs before and won, you can tell a difference. So yeah, I definitely see that matchup, especially that first match next week is going to be one of the ones to watch for sure. That's going to be one that's going to be really fun to watch.
So you brought up a point that I think is important for most of the community to understand a little bit about Kingdom 93. A lot of folks think of Kingdom 59 as JWM, of Kingdom 75 as Smash Squad, of Kingdom X as Alliance X. Kingdom 93 is three families, three very strong families, and more often than not, only MFLD gets the credit as the flagship alliance per se. But if you take a look, the flagship alliance of another family in Kingdom 93 is in the playoffs as well. That is K9T.
Yep.
K9T is the flagship of the second family, third family being the Immortals. And, I think 93, again, their spearhead per se is a little bit MFLD because the king is mostly sitting in MFLD. That's being Misfit Lion King. And that's perhaps per se the biggest alliance, quote unquote, kind of thing. This is kind of like you say, Kingdom 59 is JWM, but K9T are in this, but and they're going up against JWM.
Yeah, and Billy from MFLD is saying that the third family is also going to be in next season too. So we'll see.
Oh hell yeah!
Going to be three families coming from K93. How about that?
That'd be dope. I think it's really cool that they're taking that they went on further. They've already reached a point where they're a powerhouse in KVK. Nobody can dispute the fact that they're a powerhouse in KVK, and now they're starting to be a powerhouse in Osiris League, and that's awesome.
Well, they've got a heavy KVK coming up. I'm in it currently. I'm actually again on my other device here, sliding to the left, hitting more Marauders. They're in it right now. They're right now not exactly the most active kingdom. They're down by 150 million points to Kingdom 347 and about 70 or 80 million points to 331. So they're going up against some very active and powerful kingdoms in this KVK. We're going to see how that goes for them too, because that's what 93 is known for, is just really imposing their will in KVK. So we'll see how this goes.
I think that to an extent, as someone who plays in JWM, I can tell you JWM doesn't prioritize too much pre-KVK in the sense of people do Marauders, but we more often than not end up at the bottom four than on the top four. Mm-hmm. We've seen that not necessarily being a huge factor, and a family like Kingdom 93 can definitely offset that extra 3% with strategy, with a good flagging, good planning. For someone like Nico, shout out to Nico, she is a beast when it comes to the preparation of their KVKs, right? And I think that those percentages are not going to be as significant for them in terms of KVK. But we've gone a little bit to the tangent of KVK while we're here on Osiris League.
Oh, is that what this is? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know this is, we're talking about brute fight, open field fights. I figured.
Is that what this is? Right? I'm curious.
What's your thoughts on 89PX against C9N?
So I fought both. I've lost to both, and I've beaten both. So they've got really quality players. They've got good strategies. Again, I've fought C9N in, I think, 2 matches, and they're very coordinated, and they've gotten more coordinated. Both teams have. Again, I've seen what they've done maybe in the last, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months ago, and then what they're doing now, and it's definitely escalated. So I think that match is also going to be very good. I'm looking at 89PX, and I noticed that before they had just a few really high end players at the beginning, and then the rest of were just kind of fillers, and they were making it work. And now they've kind of made a team. So I'm interested to see how far they can take it with how new that's been. Whereas C9N has been a team for a little while. I've seen C9N do really, really well, and I've also seen them kind of drop the ball. So it really depends on how they really kind of knock it.
Death Squad showed up in the chat going, "Why is it 0? Lol." Death Squad. This is a new way of playing Osiris.
This is new Osiris League. Yeah.
This is new Osiris League. So the top 32 decided we are going to we're gonna pretty much do a little strike, and every match from here on out is a 0-0. That's it.
So this is the new Light and Darkness Osiris League. If y'all hadn't heard
yet. When the light turns on, it's time for red to push forward. When the darkness pushes, it's time for blue to push forward.
It takes a month and a half for any of the fighting to actually matter, so that's why it's 0-0 right now.
Yep.
It'll be points later.
So another match you mentioned that you really liked was BBTH against 166. And you know, I actually think that one's going to be a super interesting match because both teams are on the opposite end of what they are supposed to be to an extent. BBTH was a powerhouse that had a little bit of a situation happen with migrations, changes of kingdoms, and all that stuff. And they're still here to prove that they are the powerhouse that they used to be. Mm-hmm. 166 are here to prove that they are a new top dog. So BBTH have a lot of their own history and their own reputation to maintain, while 166 is trying to build their own reputation. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think that's a very good description. BBTH is a known quantity. They've been around for a little while. They were in last season of Osiris League. And 166, I don't recall them going very far. I think they did play in Osiris League Season 1, but they weren't deep runners. So I think both of these alliances have a chance to make a name for themselves, and this is a good opportunity for them to do it. Again, having fought 166, I can tell you they've got the strategy to make it work. They've got the players to make it work. It's just going to be a matter of, can they actually pull it off?
Yes, sir. So we've talked about a good few matches in here. We've gone through at least half of them. The one that I've been avoiding a little bit because it's the one that I'm going to end up in is UCS against JWM2. Lord have mercy. What you want to start us off, or should I?
No, you go for it. This is your baby.
Oh boy, can I give it back? So JWM2 against UCS is gonna be another one of these really, really interesting matches because JWM2 have a lot to prove. The thing, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but we were called the JWM refugees in the beginning. So folks who are refugees out of JWM went to JWM2. And I feel like we've proven that it's not exactly like that. UCS have been called the Washed Up Kingdom, the Washed Up Alliance, and they showed up and beat OV. Now before Ghost Rider starts going again saying that I hate OV, I don't think that it was, I think it was a combination of OV getting a little bit caught off guard as well as OV saving a little bit of their strats, thinking that perhaps UCS wasn't necessarily what it is. So UCS have a lot to prove, and so do JWM2. And I think that this is going to be a very, very, very hard match.
Do you remember back in the day when this matchup popped, how many tents were popped in people's pants? I mean, just everybody was just over the moon seeing, because these were the two known like massive T5 alliances, you know, like way back in the day. Like this was the match to watch, the match of the century. I want to say that was probably what the title of most people's streams at that time was, match of the century, you know, match of the game, that kind of thing. And now so many alliances are there, and this game has grown so much since that time that this is kind of, I think there's a name thing. It's kind of like, you know, for those in the States, it's kind of like, you know, Cowboys, Redskins, or New England, Miami, or, you know, something like that, where it's just a rivalry. But it's not necessarily like this is the only match to watch because this is the only place you're going to be able to find T5 against T5. Like, it's everywhere now. It's everywhere. The game has grown so much that all these alliances have that. So I think that this is a good chance, and I think UCS is going to show up hard for this. I mean, obviously they have to because it's a knockout round, but like I expect UCS to throw out all the stops, and I expect JWM to put up their best as well. And we're going to see who comes out on top. I think, or JWM2, I'm sorry. This is one of those things where, with JWM, you have, like you said earlier, so many alliances that are basically mini JWMs. Like, they have their own thing, and I know that, I'm sure, the different alliances are talking strategy between the two and, what you're going to do and things like that. So the same thing happened with, what was it, NB, I'm sorry, last season with 3 NBs. They all had their own strategies that they talked together on to have a master strategy, but then each one put their own little flavor on it. And I think it was, one NB8 that ended up making it farther than any of the other NBs, which is now 1008.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of 1008, since you already mentioned, then we can cut that straight into that transition. Ooh, perfect transition into it.
It's like we planned it.
1008 against HKL is one of the big matchups next week as well.
I need your expertise on this because I have not seen many HKL matches. I've heard good things. I've heard they're very strong, but I'm familiar with 1008. I've seen those quite a few times, but I haven't really seen too many HKL matches. So, if that being the case, I couldn't really tell you which way. I mean, I know they both are very, very strong. 1008 almost lost the day and almost got knocked out of the playoffs, if not for provisioning. However, HKL has kind of had an easy ride, don't you think?
So I think that HKL has a little bit of a combination of both. They did have a little bit of an easier ride, although do remember they went up against K9T and LG1 in their group, and they beat both those teams. They beat all the teams that they played against. I think that HKL is just one of those that flew under the radar. I'm pretty confident they were in the playoffs last season as well. Don't quote me on that, but I think they're one of these kingdoms that is just not is not one that you see all the time on Facebook. It's not one that you see all the time in the crazy matchups of crazy KVKs that are covered by content creators, as well as just are out there in the eye of the community. I think HKL is just a super strong alliance that they just did their thing, and they just we're getting caught with our pants down, really, because we don't really know anything about these guys. And Dragothien, this is a team with 2.8 billion POW.
I mean, out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, so I think it's a little bit on our fault
to
say to just not know who they are.
Yeah,
and
I want to say, if I can remember correctly, last season they were in the playoffs, but they weren't. I don't know if they made it to the knockout rounds. I think they either made it to the knockout rounds and got knocked out first week, or they didn't make it out of those final qualifiers that we're finishing up right now. I think they were on that cusp. So I think I was noticing them last season, but I didn't necessarily get into them because they just kind of got knocked out towards that point where I was starting to kind of pay attention. Now they've easily coasted through those qualifier rounds. And when I say easily, I mean the scores make it look like they easily posted through all of it.
They had a very good set of strategies and games.
Yeah, exactly.
Done it fair and square.
I mean, that's what it's all about. So, I look to see HKL a little bit more, and maybe I'll do an extra peek in on some of these streams as we're continuing to start to get to the knockout stage. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that matchup plays out, because that's between two strong alliances, 1008 and HKL. It's going to be a very strong matchup.
So we're 2 matches away from finishing, going through all of the Realm of Horus and 6 minutes remaining.
Let's
do it. The one that I think we can. It's just a little bit of a rough situation to talk about too much. Is JWM against K9T.
JWM
and that's all you.
Is K9T. Okay, so JWM and K9T. K9T is probably cursing the Osiris League gods for getting JWM right at the beginning of the knockout round. But again, we just talked about it earlier. K9T is in their own right a power alliance, and they've got a good strategy. I've seen them fight. They had a really good match today where they pulled out based on being able to adapt and overcome, right? That's a thing. And they did a good job of doing that in this week's match too. So it may be, my hesitancy of saying, hey, this is going to be a 50-50 matchup. My hesitancy is JWM's been there for so long. They've been there all through last season, even before Osiris was a thing, even before Arc of Osiris was a thing. JWM was a powerhouse alliance in this game, whereas K9T, they, again, like we talked about earlier, they are a powerhouse in KVK. We know that. They did really good in Season 1, but didn't quite make it that far. Lost to some suspect opponents last season. This season, they've stepped it up. You can tell MFLD and K9T both stepped it up in a big way from a strategy perspective.
Agreed.
And executing that strategy is the other piece. So I think they're there, but have they been there long enough? Because again, being there is one thing, getting to that point is one thing, but then having been there and then learning from that experience and taking it into the next setup, that's kind of where I'm thinking maybe JWM has a little bit of an edge because they've played at the highest level. They were in the finals last season. They lost to OV, but every right had every attempt to be able to win that match. And K19 just hasn't been there yet. So I think JWM has the advantage on this match, not only from just a raw power perspective, but because of the experience.
The only thing I gotta say about all this, and I can't say too much again, because whatever I say, it'll either come out extremely biased or people will find a reason to hate on it. It's a trust. It's much worse than you think. My thing about this is again, you have a team that has been working very hard to get through something that was fairly traumatizing to them, which was the loss last year. It was really a traumatizing thing for JWM, and they are coming in. They're not gonna leave anything behind. They're coming in with everything they got. They're not gonna give it a single chance of them screwing up or messing up, and they've been working hard to get there. I do feel a little bit bad for K9T because they did make such an amazing run to be the team that gets to play against JWM on the first round. Not fun, and it doesn't matter who you are.
It's just bad luck, man. Just straight up bad luck.
And the worst part is, it's 93. MFLD got OV, K9T got JWM. I mean, really? The final match that we haven't talked about, one of them is on the screen right here. P245 against V163. The one thing I can tell you right now is, as we have 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, one of the cool things I've learned from 149 as well as from other Vietnamese kingdoms is for 149 had Hakka, which was very predominantly Vietnamese. There's a lot of pride in there. So for these guys, they come in with a lot of the Vietnamese nation in this game behind them as cheering for them, and they have a certain responsibility towards their people to an extent, and that's going to play a huge role in their fight against P245, who have shown they have everything they need to get a deep run on this playoffs. They are very well coordinated. They got the commanders they need. They got the strategy well implemented. They rotate fast enough. They know their timings. It's going to be a fun match to watch.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. V163 has put on a couple good matches. I peeked into a couple of those. 245 has just the raw power, I think, and that's who everyone's going to be expecting to win. From a betting perspective, assuming everybody plays, that would be a good one to go on, I think. Just looking forward to what the spread is probably going to look like. Throw a couple hundred on V163 and see if they can pull it out in the end.
Yes, sir. So,
hey, one thing real quick.
People asking for us to explain what's going on.
Yeah, so real quick, and I was going to get into that. Basically what's happening is people are trying to posture from a positioning perspective on who is going to face who in the next rounds. Now, I think with this one, both opponents are kind of equal, so I don't think that necessarily one or the other is going to make a big difference. So what they've done is they've chatted with each other and said, hey, let's do a tie. Now, I don't know if they did a tie because it's never been done before, and maybe they just want to see what happens if there is a tie. because nobody's ever seen a 0-0 match that's actually been played. Like, we've seen 0-0 matches where the matches didn't start, or server instability, things like that, but we've never seen a match that actually got played for the full hour. So we're going to see how that plays out. They all got their 10,000 points, so they're going to get whatever it is that they get. I don't know if they both get 10 sculptures or if they both get 5. I've got people that are going to be sending me their after action reports from the arc itself, or the Osiris League match itself, to see just that. But I also, on my screen here that I'm on my stream, I've got the rules up.
Okay.
And it says, in the event of a critical error, server instability, blah, 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 critical issues may include but are not limited to server instability, game-breaking bugs, serious abuse of loopholes or design flaws, cheating through illegal programs, or side deals. This could be a side deal. Yeah.
Really quickly, I see P245 as victorious.
Interesting. Hello? I wonder if it's based on kills then.
Total kills?
Yeah, it must be total kills.
That's interesting. That's a really interesting one.
So they must have gotten the sculptures.
They probably did. They probably did then, if that's the thing. We'll find out in a moment. John Wick said he figured it would be probably more total kills. That's a weird one, right? That is a really weird one, because how do you get a perfect tie? That'd be really interesting. It looks like you and I gave Lilith a little bit of a hard time. They did think it through. We'll go based on kills.
At least
yeah.
At least it didn't crash the game.
Oh, if it would have crashed. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I would have preferred seeing the game crash.
Well, I would have preferred seeing 166 win, because that would have given me my coins. So now I just lost all my coins.
The bets.
Yeah, the bets.
Oh
the
no.
The bets.
Oh no, this is actually bad.
So,
all right.
So here we are on the raggedy edge. I mean, what's to be done?
Don't ask me. I barely work here. That's my thing. Thankfully, I don't work for Lilith to have to make this decision. I'm thinking there's going to be a decision that's going to be made. I think there's going to be a decision that's going to be made in here. If it's, as you said, it's deal making. Oof.
It's considered a side deal. So, are they even paying attention to it is the question.
Cuba J says that on his screen it said that they lost.
Okay.
Whoa. Time out.
Yikes.
Time out. This is now. Okay. I'm gonna exit out of this screen and go take a peek at the bets and see what do the bets.
That's a good point too. Let me see.
Oof. No, the bet. Hello? Well, yeah. Chat, don't forget to drop a like on the stream if you enjoy this content. This is when Dragothien and I go hide somewhere and let Lilith do what Lilith needs to do. I don't see victory on either side.
Yep, me either. Maybe it hasn't updated yet, because the same thing on the schedule. It still says 2-2.
Oh,
still says 2-2 on the schedule.
Will it not say 2-2? Will it at any point not say 2-2?
Well, I mean, in the other ones, so you got 2-2-2. There needs to be 6 victories on each group, and right now there's only 5 on Group D.
Does there need to be 6?
There doesn't.
Logic determines there should be, but what happens if there isn't?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't affect anything. P245 is going to move on, and so is 166. So from a moving on perspective, nothing changes. But
and Cuba is also mentioning that we did not talk to each other at all. Just both went for loss. Wow.
I find that very suspect.
I'm not gonna say what I think. This is
I
no
find
way.
That very
There's
suspect.
Absolutely no way that both teams said, "All right, nobody go."
Nobody touch any of the provisions. Nobody touch it.
Nobody
Yeah.
do anything.
Yeah.
Just go to the center. We didn't talk.
Okay, well, who cares?
It's over.
Who cares?
It's over.
It's over.
This is gonna be fun. If we were looking for drama, well.
High five, Gekko.
High five. friend.
Oh
At
my
least we had a good
goodness.
time together, co-casting a little bit of nothing, answering questions of the community. Some of your folks came by to check out my channel. I hope some of my
Yeah.
folks came out to check out your
Yeah,
channel.
please do. Swap around.
If you guys haven't done that
Mingle.
yet, Dragothien Gaming, that's the time. You guys need to go check him out. Drop likes on both the streams before this goes off. I wonder what Chip will do all this time.
I know. I'm curious.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm really thankful we agreed on this.
Yeah, no kidding.
I would have read chat, but
yeah, it's been a nightmare.
It wouldn't have been fun. It would have been fun. Chat is fun, but having to deal with the consistent. I think that us talking about the bracket was really, really good, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really, really looking forward to see what every team is going to bring to the table. Just a quick note, Dragothien. If in theory, and this is theoretical, talk only, chat, don't take me as the overlord of how this works, please. If theoretically this is match, this is deal making, and potentially DQs happen, that gives BBTH a step forward, and it gives V164 a step forward too. In theory.
I mean, I think we're speculating really heavily.
Of course. Strictly speculating. This is complete speculation. No, nothing. We don't know nothing. Never happened. Well,
I mean,
final thoughts.
What do you want me to say about that? There's nothing to say about that. There's nothing. I mean, will it give them an edge? I don't know. I mean,
edge? V163 would go up against either JWM or K9T, or BBTH would go up against.
Or would they get a bye?
What bye?
Well, if they're not facing who they're supposed to face.
They're not. They're going one step forward. So instead of getting knocked out in top 16, they'll get knocked out in top 8. Like, they automatically go to top 8, meaning they win their top 16 match by default.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They get a bye week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They may just combine the two that's left, and well, no, they can't do that because it ruins the rest of the bracket. I don't know, dude.
Oh, this is gonna be.
That sounds awful. Whatever that is, it sounds awful. I see in the chat people are just like F side deals, blah blah blah. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, this is the game that we're playing. I mean, this is the game the way it was structured. You can do this. You can do this. You know, we just looked at the rules. It said no side deals, but you know, who's going to tell them it was a side deal? Like, who's going to say that? How are they going to prove that? There ain't no way. So I mean,
the same can be said about any of the other matches that we talked about throwing matches. And
they could have
like
just put on a show. You know, they could have put on a show. And 1008 said, you know what? Let me just provision and bring all the provisions. You guys don't provision. Like, that could have been a side bet, you know, side deal.
Yeah.
You know, who knows?
Sure.
So obviously that's not the case, but you see what I'm saying. So
it can go anyway. The thing that Chris mentioned, one of the viewers here said, Chris John said, this problem would have never happened if the bracket wasn't shown from the beginning. If Lilith didn't put the bracket from the beginning. I mean, coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? We learn, we grow, we improve, and mistakes are made and mistakes are fixed. What else can be said about that?
Well, even showing the bracket wouldn't fix that, because you can see if you have somebody who's really organized, you can get the data you need to kind of put these brackets together based off of who's fighting who. That being said, it'd be a little more difficult to do, but it's only what is this, 32 teams? I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to do to put together the data.
In theory, yes, if you know what the structure of the bracket is. But right now, it's like crosses, like first and last, B with G, E with D, like they went from outwards inwards. Mm-hmm. They can choose to scramble that, and then that way you have no way to know. You can just say, all right, this is not a balanced bracket. At the end, the playoff bracket is just randomly generated between the groups.
Still says 2-2-1. Interesting. Oh well.
Well, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dragothien, it's been a blast.
Yes.
We hopefully will be able to bring better multi-streams sooner rather than later to the community. I believe
they're knockout rounds now. There's none of this going to happen any further, right?
No, sir. And I believe we'll start going towards the official Rise of Kingdoms channel from here on out.
That's it.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we need to get that ironed out. That'll be a thing. And
then from there, you guys will get to enjoy the co-casts of myself, Dragothien, Chisco Gaming, and maybe other content creators that'll get involved in the process. The one thing I do want to ask out of the community, if possible, is let's try to tone down things a little bit with the cheater and with the cheating and with all that stuff. Let Lilith do what Lilith needs to do, and if they find that there is something to do, they'll do it. And if not, I mean, I understand the people being mad. I understand it, but it doesn't do good to anyone, really.
Yeah, I agree. And just as an update before we kind of wrap it up together here, on my schedule screen, it has 166 highlighted as the winner at the bottom of Group D. But when I click it, they're both grayed out.
Where is this group real quick?
So Group D.
Oh, yeah. When you click it, they're both 0 and 0.
You went past it. Group D. Yeah.
Whoa. Lol.
And then
this is actually amusing.
And if you click the shield, yeah, there you go. You have it. So they're both gray. Yeah.
Interesting. And bets haven't come back yet, right? I wonder if bets do go back. Anyone bet on this? You bet on this, right?
I did, yeah. Nothing.
Did you get your Oryx back? Nothing?
Nothing yet. And they were pretty instant today.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How crazy would it be if Lilith go, well, nobody
You just
won,
lost all. Not only did you lose and you got half your Oryx back, you lost and you got no Oryx back because there was no winner and no loser.
My goodness.
All right, this is the world we live in. All right, guys. Gekko, I appreciate you jumping in on the chat with me, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up my stream here on my end.
Same as you, Dragothien. Always a pleasure, my man. And we'll talk probably later too.
Yeah. We need to get together.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Take
buddy.
care, man.
Good chat.
Good chat.
You got it. Take it easy.
Cheers.
All right, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm back into the main chat here. I know that it wasn't much of an enjoyment from a fighting perspective, but we were able to go a little bit deep into the actual matchups that are going to be coming next week and going forward, seeing what those are going to be looking like, and giving a little bit of pre-info on what we think, who's going to win and that kind of thing. Obviously, my Sippin stream will be more geared towards the betting for those as they come along. And again, I think that ultimately those that are in those playoffs are there for a reason. They're all good alliances with power players. They have good strategy, all those good things. Let me jump into the chat here and try and catch a couple of these questions before we wrap this puppy up. Let's see. In soccer, there's extra time and penalty. I'm getting some messages saying it would be funny if they both were disqualified. There's no visible evidence you can show. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how they're going to do it. What if the group score was 21-10 and they did this and you had, or 2-2 or 2-1-1 and you had a chance to go to the next stage? That's a very good point, Shady. So what if it was 2-1-1 and then the 2-1 players were the ones playing? I don't know. We'll see. I got to check the meme room according to Billy. Check the meme chat. It's too soon to put up the Xmas tree yet. I've run out of things to do. Which meme chat am I looking at? How are you feeling, Drago? Doing okay after yesterday? Yeah, I'm doing fine, Biker. Appreciate that. Dr. Fondles, I'm rallying you soon, Drago. Billy, don't send nudes, please. Yes, thank you. Felipe, I don't know what happened to your Oryx yet. We don't know yet. We don't know. It's going to be interesting. Which Discord? The Real Meme 93. Okay, let me check. I'm trying to look around. I'm in the meme chat for 93, and I don't see anything that makes sense. Let's see here. Oops. Is it in my meme chat? My Discord is it? Oh my goodness, that is something. Caps when Home Fries calls him Burger Daddy. This is what happens to his buns. Oh dear. Oh dear. Valentin, result from the P245 versus 166 match. It's 0-0. The match was 0-0. They didn't actually capture any buildings. They didn't capture any structures whatsoever. They didn't even provision. There was nothing. So, okay, it looks like I'm logging in on another device. That might be my downstairs computer. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'm going to hop in Discord really quick and call it a day from there. It's been fun today. We had good matches, except for this one, but I had fun chatting with Gekko, and I had a blast with him. And you're going to see more of us teaming up together when it comes to these matches here pretty soon, because knockout round is next week. So hope you guys have enjoyed. As always, I will see you guys next time. Cheers. Have a good one, and take care.